Hello everyone, it's Misty here. In this video, I will be baking and texturing this model. So here I am preparing the model by adding different materials. I have 4 materials in total because I wanted to use masks and paint inside the masks. That was what I was aiming for, and that worked perfectly for me. So I took the big materials and I assigned them according to that. So for me, I decided to use, like I said, 4 materials. It's body, clothes, eyes, and shoes. This 4 was very sufficient for me. So in here I'm baking my mesh maps. There was an issue, if I remember. I was doing too many adjustments that the program didn't understand what I exactly wanted. So I took some help from my friend, and in his computer it worked. So that's when I understood that, yeah, I'm making too much adjustments. I gotta be very basic with this one. So I wanted to share what I did wrong during this process, basically. So in here I am checking out the files because, like I've said, I made a mistake there. After arranging and organizing my files, I turned back to Substance and I've tried it again, and that time it worked. In here I separated shoes again and baked the mesh map separately because it was clipping too much between the shapes. There was a lot of shapes in the shoes, so I fixed that, and it worked for me because after painting the textures there was no problem, there was no issue at all. So I was pretty happy with the result there. In here I am preparing ambient occlusion for painting. As you can see, I'm adding a new channel, a whole new ambient occlusion, and I will be painting on top of it because there are some parts that are black which I did not intend to. So we're gonna fix that. I learned this technique from a YouTube channel called Julio 3D. Shout out to him. That was very informative. So I've used that technique and I painted over it basically, and that became my new ambient occlusion. That's basically it. Oh, I also forgot to mention that by painting, I'm not saying that paint tool only. As you can see, there are a lot of options in the left side, so I actually wanted to use stamp tool. The reason is that normally in Photoshop I always use stamp tool to fix any area. I'm a graphic designer first, so I know how to use those tools. So painting won't help me in this particular project because, as you can see, there is this noise texture there. So when I paint over noise texture, the texture gets blurry, and I don't want that. So as you can see right here, I'm using stamp tool. That worked perfectly. So I decided to use stamp tool all along the way. And this is a long process, of course, because, like I said, there were a lot of mistakes and I didn't want to overdo it again because I was pretty happy with the amount of polygons there is. I didn't want to do it again, basically. So I said, okay, I can fix that. And I love painting and photoshopping things, so this is not a bad subject for me. I enjoyed this process basically, and that's it. And I saw another issue in which there was some shadows missing in between the fingers. So I had to do the shadows manually. I tried to be as good as possible with this because I had to kind of freehand it. I don't know what caused this exactly, but in my other projects I will definitely be checking out another way of doing risopology to make sure that this never happens again, because as you can see, this is a very painful process. This was very hard, and it takes a lot of time. Normally no one would fix it by painting the ambient occlusion. There are probably better ways to do this, but I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna fix it myself while I opened everything. Why not? That was my thought process basically. And as you can see, I fixed that, and then I started to work on texture. So what happened was that while I was trying these textures and colors and all that, I kind of forgot recording. That happened. What you guys see here is the beginning part. So when I sat in front of this project for the second time, I didn't record that. That was a mistake. So I will show you guys what I actually did right now. So in here, I've already finished the texturing. I think I was thinking of doing something more. I was gonna go photorealistic, but then I decided that it's too early for me. This project has been going on like for a year, and I was not able to sit on it for a long time. So it actually took like 2 months, I would say. I sat like 50 times to this project probably. So I was like, I'm not gonna rush this, and I'm gonna finish it, then I will do studies for a while. So I did very basic things, and here is me deleting that wrinkly part because I've already baked that on top of the pants. So I was pretty happy with that. But that is, as you can see, and only one texture. I used a cotton fabric, that type of a texture, because that is supports clothing, you know. I didn't want to overdo it. With shoes, I did like 2 to 3 textures probably. I manually painted that. I used masks, and as you can see, I kind of broke the retopology by painting. I gave the illusion of it because I wanted that part to be curvy. So I painted it and gave the illusion of it, and that was enough for me. Another thing I did is that I used these big layers, big fill layers, and I used opacity to create something underneath the actual skin so that it looks more alive, like the veins, the color, different colors basically. So I used this red base, and then on top of it I painted it. So there are some yellows, some purples and greens, and I used specifically something like a dirt texture, I would say, that looks like veins. So I wanted something just a tad bit, just a tiny bit thin. I wanted it to look thin so that it would actually look like veins. So when I did the opacity about 79, yeah, 79. So when I did that, it showed a little bit of that detail, because I don't have too many details regarding the skin. I didn't do too much sculpting in this particular project, so I just needed just a tiny bit of that little detail. So this was my thought process. So when I get close to it, you can see that there are these little textures there, and that gives a good illusion for me at least. So I was pretty happy with it. I wish I could have done more, but like, this is very early for me. I know I can do more later, so I'm not gonna be harsh on myself. And in this one, I did this lip texture. I will say I was not able to find any lip texture or something like that on internet, so I was like, I'm gonna do it myself. So I used something like a grunge type of ambient occlusion, probably. I did that. So basically I found something grayscale, and then I painted that on lips, and then I used something like a wax candle, if I remember right. Yeah, I used wax candle as another material so that it looks like I put some lip gloss or something like that. So that is basically what I did. I've added some details to the eyes, of course, the line where the lashes will be, and also the eye corners. So that's basically it. I think I didn't add anything new particular. Oh, and I've added some nails, so that is new. I found a nail polish. So what I did is, basically I wrote nail polish and I downloaded that, and I put that as new material. After putting that as a new material, I created a black mask, and I want to paint the nails. So that's basically it. I just needed to change the color and I was done. Like, that is how it will be. I think I could have done better. I wish I've done better. Like I said, I'm kind of perfectionist like that. But this is a good way for me to learn that I don't need to be too perfectionist. Sometimes I just need the work to talk for itself. And this work wants to be done already. I feel it. So the only thing that is left is the hair simulation. Basically I will use Xgen for that, and mean, I know it's real time here, but I think it's beneficial for me to learn, so I will use that. Hazel brown has a perfect course for that, so I will be using that probably, and you will see it in the next video. Just saying, if you're interested, you can check that out. You know, I think I'm done. Other than that, I think I will finish this project with 3 videos. So the next one will be hair, and I will do a rigging and posing video, and I will do lightning and render on the same project probably, and I will show the results. Then I will put it on ArtStation because I don't have any project there currently. So that's the plan. If you guys are interested, you know what to do. This is my channel for this project. After this project, I will do some sculpt studies and maybe some drawing too, like 2D drawing. This is an art channel, so I will not just restrict myself with 3D only. So like I said, you can find some art stuff here. If you're interested, you know, you can consider subscribing or liking it. And that's it. Take care of yourselves and goodbye.